Hello, my name is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Haha, and you thought I would be the worst politician America had ever seen. I'm now going to hand you over to Johnny Maunders with the week what just happened. Cheers, Arnie. This is the week what just happened. The UK became the first country to approve Pfizer's COVID vaccine. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said those who qualify for the jab will be contacted by the NHS. We should just be thankful he didn't give that job to Serco. Otherwise, the only people getting the vaccine would be an elderly Cornish couple and their dog. Even then, the dog would get the jab 7 times because it kept getting phoned. Hancock then said the vaccine would allow us to have a summer that everyone could enjoy. Personally, I'm not sure I could enjoy a summer knowing that Hancock was also enjoying it. I'll be at a barbecue knowing that somewhere in Suffolk, Hancock is in a swimming pool filled with pink ties and takeaway food, floating on a lilo made from unsuitable PPE bought from a hairdresser's in Kansas. Downing Street hasn't ruled out cabinet members having the vaccine on live TV. It's a great idea. Nothing could earn the trust of the British public more than our politicians receiving a jab on live TV. They should make it into a reality show. Every night we'll get to vote, and then Anton Deck will stroll into the cabinet room and announce who's getting the jab and in which humiliating way. On Monday we'll vote for Priti Patel to have the vaccine administered by a civil servant she bullied. While on Tuesday Boris will get the jab as he dangles upside down in a glass dome filled with all the children he's fathered. This week, the new tier system came into force in England. The government said the rules would safeguard the gains made during the last month. That's a relief. There was me naively thinking the fact that the COVID cases and deaths are at similar levels to October meant that the recent lockdown hadn't been very effective. I was clearly too stupid to realise there were major gains that needed safeguarding. It must have been down to keeping schools open and encouraging people to continue going to work. If only kids went to school at weekends and fewer people selfishly worked at home, we might not need a vaccine at all. Keir Starmer asked Labour MPs to abstain on the bill, saying it was in the national interest to let it pass. He's right, let's face it, nothing smacks of national interest more than legislation that unfairly hits the north and doesn't give enough funding to people struggling, does it? He should go further. Why bother opposing the government at all? At Prime Minister's question, Starmer should just shrug his shoulders, let Boris berate him, and then tell the media it was all in the national interest. Maybe if Corbyn had spent less time sticking to his silly principles and more time clinging to the fence, we'd have a Labour government by now. Meanwhile, the Home Office has deported 13 British residents to Jamaica. The deportations separated parents from their distraught children, themselves British nationals. The Home Secretary, Priti Patel, ignored protests against the decision, saying the deportations were necessary to keep the public safe. She might be right. After all, who better qualified to keep the public safe than someone who couldn't keep people in her department safe from her own bullying? Perhaps after work, Priti Patel masquerades as a superhero, Captain Bully, protecting the British public by breaking up families and hurling abuse at anyone nearby. Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Maunders. Welcome to This Dangerous Podcast. People, introduce yourselves.
I'm DJ. Hey.
That sounds like the start of a dating profile.
I've been single for 12 months.
My hobbies include walking the dog and yoga. And my name is Bertie Trail.
And buying expensive shower gel. You've got another geographical meme behind you, DJ. Would you like to describe it?
Yes, it's a map of Europe, and it's titled Electricity Consumption in Europe in 1507. And then it has a key to show you electricity consumption in 1507. And it's all the same color because there was no electricity.
The whole world was yellow until electricity came about.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
That's basically why light sometimes is seen as yellow.
God, that's insightful.
Also, because the thing that works on so many levels, because it's a map of Europe, so it's geographical, it's also historical, and it's also physics related, because it's about electricity. So
there's several dimensions to that. I mean, for example, I did not know the distinct geography of whatever the heck Europe looks like there is. It's quite complex. I love how Portugal has been kept exactly the same. And the UK, apart from a part of northern Wales, which I imagine is sort of the Celtic kingdom, has been.
And also, it's a good way of remembering how, at the time, Germany and Italy, they were not actual countries. See, that's my history degree paying dividends there. Let's move on before I bore you all. Bertie, you've done us another cocktail. Can you talk us through it?
I've delivered all my promises again. Yeah, so this cocktail is going to wow you because it's not a traditionally normal cocktail in a completely different sense.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm excited by it.
Well, it is a drink. It's still a cocktail in that sense. but it's not a cold drink. It's a hot drink, like a hot toddy. Drop it like it's hot.
I have a hot toddy when like I had toothaches as a kid.
Oh, it's quite nice, you know. And it's something quite comforting about something hot, oh yeah, just that winter feel, you know. And I had those winter feels today, and I wanted something hot. So I'll start again with I guess the least exciting ingredients.
Yeah.
So apple juice, obviously apple juice, and then I added some Thatcher's Rascal in there, which by the way is really good cider. It's slightly darker than your normal kind of cider. It's got that kind. It's a real sweet kind of caramelly tasting cider. It's like a toffee apple.
So wait, you've got apple juice and cider together. It's like double apple.
I know, double apple, but I couldn't just do apple juice. I needed to have some more alcohol.
Is that because you're in Somerset? So like legally you have to put like double apple.
Oh yeah, apple juice is cider. I mean, if you've somehow got apple juice, you've gone out of your way to not make that cider. That's crime down here.
That'd be crime down here.
That's it. That disobeys peasant law in the land of rugged. But here's the important thing. The Thatcher's has got a little bit of fizz as well, and I needed a little bit of fizz in there because the other ingredients aren't fizzy. Because I just love bubbles, as you all know. Can't do without the bubbles. I don't know why I've done it in this order as well, because like this completely goes against my whole methodology for making this cocktail. So to start with, I actually had some nice spiced rum. Well, I say nice, Captain Morgan's. A few shots of that, and I got some cinnamon sticks. And I mean, I know in one of the previous episodes I said I'd never put cinnamon sticks in a cocktail, but here we are.
Week 3 and you're running out of ideas.
It took a long time, didn't it? But now you can really see how fucking empty my cabinet is. So good luck for next week.
I'm just relieved you've moved on from your parsley phase from last week.
Yeah, that was quite pretentious, but it was also it was a crazy flash in a pan. You know, I was on summer last week, and now I'm on winter. So we're rapidly changing seasons. So yeah, now we got some bits of cinnamon flowing around in there. But wait, don't get ahead of yourself. We chucked it in the microwave for a couple of minutes to get those cinnamon, and you can see.
Okay,
like,
so wait. I when you said it was warm, I was expecting you'd put something warm in it, but no, you just stuck it all in the microwave. So...
No. I injected microwaves. That's another ingredient. Microwaves.
Convection.
That's it. Yeah. You know it. And getting those cinnamon bits all lathered up and getting them all excited and getting them to release their flavor, which is it is good. It does make it quite tasty. So this sounds like a real winner. I think we're getting that feeling here, aren't we, guys? This cocktail is.
Oh, is that it?
No, it's not. Sorry, it's not it. Microwaves, a drop of vanilla extract, right, to give it that pudding vibe.
That's got to go on your dating profile. That pudding vibe.
Yeah, that pudding vibe. I've got that pudding vibe. That's it. Hit me up in creams. I've got that pudding vibe, like a ginger shortbread, and that's why I had the ginger nut with it. Anyway, I think that's all the ingredients. No, it isn't. It's not all the ingredients, because you know why? Because I don't want to stop there. I don't like making these cocktails really easy and nice to drink. I like putting something in that's going to make it slightly questionable. So I've decided to add several drops of Tabasco in there to give it a spicy kick. Seeing as we got spiced rum in there and other spiced ingredients and cinnamon, and it's all getting quite horny in there. So I thought I'd add some Tabasco in there just to really make it a party.
Doesn't that counteract the pudding vibe?
It's a complex relationship, sweet and spicy. Yeah, not sweet and sour, sweet and spicy.
This whole thing should go on your dating profile. I'm not gonna lie.
Just imagine an apple pudding, right, with some cinnamon and some nice buns. Yeah, just chucking like a whole like ghost pepper chili on that, and like some flames, and roasting it up and getting it really agitated. That's what's happened. It's a demonic pudding. That's what it is.
Well, it sounds very interesting. Either way, I'm not sure I want to try it, but it does sounds interesting. What do you want to call it?
Well, I mean, it's got to be something puddingy.
Why don't you just call it something puddingy?
Something puddingy.
Birch trees pudding.
Did you say Brexit pudding?
No, I said birch trees pudding.
Birch trees pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your name, Bertree's Pudding?
Oh, Bertie's. I thought you said birch tree. I haven't used birch trees.
Oh, I'm drawing trees. That might be why it came out like that.
Oh, nice. No, but like the cinnamon sticks kind of are like trees. They're like actual sticks. I didn't realize it's like the bark of a tree.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a story. An ex-girlfriend came to stay at my house. She wanted to make like a Chinese soup. And she kept asking me if I had any cinnamon, and I couldn't find any cinnamon. And on my fridge, my parents had like a fridge magnet from the Caribbean that had like these spices on it, including cinnamon. And so she ripped a piece of cinnamon off and put it in the soup. Now, what she didn't realize was the cinnamon had been like glazed in some sort of chemical or like glue or something. So basically, it made everything in the soup taste disgusting, and we felt like puked for like hours after that.
What was it glazed
I don't know,
with?
some varnish or glue or something. Some
Oh.
That's not very good, is it? Oh, what am I going to use this cinnamon stick for? I don't know. I might
So-
just, I might use it as a paintbrush, which is why I might cover it in varnish.
If people are listening, right, and you've got a cinnamon stick fridge magnet, okay, don't rip a piece of the fridge magnet off and put it in a soup because you might die. It's a fridge magnet for a reason, to keep it on the fridge.
Oh, I just got to hit Tabasco just saying. Oh, that's gone straight into the spot. I'll tell you what, there is a party going on inside me right now.
What do you mean straight into the spot?
Into the spot.
So it doesn't hit the spot, it's gone into the spot.
It's the spice. It just gets everywhere. It's
Okay.
spicy pudding.
Thank you for you're smelling it. That makes it worse. Okay. So moving swiftly on. Last week we were trying to work out what Thanksgiving was, and we thought
Dude,
Bertie
it was so hard for me when I was listening to it. I kept wanting to talk,
Yes.
forgetting that it was already recorded.
So we had a couple of theories. One was that it was just a way to have extra turkey, but you told us on Facebook in the public domain that we were wrong, and you even wrote it in all caps, like Donald Trump, to reveal to us how misinformed we were in the most aggressive and angry way possible, making us look like idiots in front of all of our listeners. All 12 people that like us on Facebook.
More than 12. Come on.
I'm kidding.
And let's be honest, how many of those are American? I mean, let's say that we did put out the disclaimer that we basically know nothing about American culture. We're very careful to make that message.
We kept saying that we're very misinformed deliberately. So DJ, would you like to correct us and tell us what Thanksgiving actually is and remind us that it's not an extra Christmas?
Yeah, teach us two ignorant
No,
people
it's
the
a
lesson.
day to give thanks and remind us to be grateful for each other and the things that we have. But we've always had ham for Christmas.
So you have turkey for Thanksgiving and then ham for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean that's the way my family's always done it. I think most people have ham for Christmas.
So apart from turkey, what else do you eat on Thanksgiving?
We really overkilled it with the carbs. We had like the turkey, obviously, but we put it in a crock pot because we're lazy, really juicy.
I thought you said you put it in a car park.
Yeah, we put it in
KFC
a car pot and we let it cook on the pavement. That's what we did.
They basically left it overnight. They left it overnight and let some doggers come and cook it themselves.
Yeah, and we had roasted Brussels sprouts, which was actually just some like poop we found from the dog park.
Well, yeah, that's what I think about Brussels sprouts anyway.
We had what else did we have? We had candied yams, like
Ooh,
sweet yams
yummy.
that are made with like marshmallows.
I should get some of that for my cocktail.
Brown sugar and stuff. But ours was really just carrots with spit in it.
That's the best way to make yams, to be honest.
We had scallop potatoes, which also just had spit in it.
I love the way you're slowly becoming less imaginative with this.
Okay, it was potato chips with spit. Fuck it, fuck you. And we had mac and cheese, which was mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is awesome. We had rolls and we had cranberry sauce and gravy. And then I tried to make my mom's cooked apples, but I left the apples at my sister's apartment and used the apples that I had here, but realized there was only 2 of them. And I was like, oh wait, there's a jar of applesauce in the fridge. I'm gonna dump this applesauce into the pot and like put cinnamon and sugar and like butter and shit in it.
Sounds like you're getting creative there.
Pumpkin spice. I was like, all the spices.
Sounds like one of your cocktails.
It looks like I told everyone exactly what it was up front. I'm like, sorry, this is just for like decoration now, I guess. But And people tried it, and actually, it tastes pretty fucking good. But yeah, Thanksgiving is about it's in the name.
It's in the name.
I
Tell me
mean, I'm skipping over all the
all the
you
important
know
historical stuff.
celebration of genocide.
All the brutal murder of Native Americans and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day.
Can I ask you an important question about Thanksgiving?
Me?
Yes. Not Johnny. Do you stuff the turkey?
We didn't stuff the turkey. Me and my sister made a decision to skip the stuffing this year.
I suppose that's a moral decision, isn't it, to make?
There was just already so much starchy stuff, and it just
You always don't need the stuffing, really. I mean, it's a bit like my cocktail. I was going to add some like ginger nut biscuit and sprinkle it on top, but then I just thought, who needs that? You know, I've got microwaves, and that's
honestly, I don't even really like stuffing. I don't think I've ever. I saw you giggle.
No, I love stuffing. I can't lie. I love stuffing. Oh, it's just-
I'm not impressed.
it begs the question: is haggis stuffing? But haggis looks like stuffing, doesn't it?
I really want to try it stuffing now. I want to put some haggis in a turkey, put some black pudding in a turkey, and see what happens.
We're gonna have a Scotch.
Okay, maybe it's just me, but I cannot talk about food or even like the ingredients to drinks without it being super sexualized in my mind.
I think you're not alone there.
So when I was talking
Huh?
about stuffing the turkey, were you thinking about something else?
I think that's implicit, Bertie.
What do you expect? When people are saying, "Yeah, I like stuffing. I like a good stuffing.
Yeah.
Stuffing my turkey."
Very much.
Stuffing the fat bird.
Mhm.
Making sure you push the legs wide open.
Oh my god, when I was cooking with my grandmother, I was like making so many jokes. There's so many like phallic things, sensual, touching and stuff.
Sexual touching stuff.
You know, when you're like like when you got a big chunk of meat and you've gotta like put flour on it or like seasoning and
Season that meat.
Rub that meat good.
I don't know if this should be in the podcast.
Yeah, this might go in the
How much are
bloopers.
we going to have to cut out of this fucking podcast? Honestly?
This is for the OnlyFans bit.
Do you want to add the OnlyFans account onto the Facebook?
I think we'd get more people on the OnlyFans than actually listening on the
Oh,
podcast.
just think about how many weirdos.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like you're doing something strange there.
Yeah, I look insane.
So
Wait, what were we talking
we're
about?
talking about Thanksgiving. I feel like we've done Thanksgiving now.
Oh.
So you're having hams for Christmas. That gives us a good segue because DJ, today you want to talk about the Grinch. Am I right?
Yeah. What was I going to say about that? I was watching The Grinch the other night,
The Jim
and
Carrey.
you know when he gives them that speech after he's won the award and everything, the mayor gives him the gift and it's the razor. They pass it off as a joke, but between him and the mayor, it's obviously personal. It's like a really dick move. So he gets all upset, lashes out at them, and he just basically calls them out on all their shit. And he's just like, I live in your garbage. All their Christmas gifts come in the garbage that he lives in. So he just sees this other side of them that they don't see. And as I told you before, I forgot about the part where he got up there because he just ran away. And they just let an 8-year-old run away on top of a mountain. What the fuck? And they're obviously like in the memories, like when he was in school, they're all like horrible people. But I like that scene, I guess, just because of the, obviously he's talking about commercialism. I kind of feel like lately holidays in particular, like Christmas and like Thanksgiving, things like that, is people tend to, not only is it like a lot of like commercialism, but also just the way people use them is to kind of like reserve one day a year that they're like thankful, or one day a year that they're like generous, and then they just like go back being terrible pieces of shit. That's kind of what the Whoville people were like. They weren't good people the whole year, but then they think, oh, but we love Christmas so much and go out of our way to do a lot of big extravagant things for it, and then we're like forgiven for our sins.
It's completely ironic because most people drink a shit ton at Christmas, eat a shit ton at Christmas, whilst there are people out on the streets dying and very
Yeah.
I mean, there are people, amazing people who go out giving food out to people on Christmas Day. That's how they
Mhm.
spend their Christmas Day, or if you're in a church or something like that. But the majority of
Yeah.
families, obviously it's about the family. I completely get what you're saying, and I feel like COVID has actually, in a way, highlighted that more to me. Just because of the slightly change in like circumstances, it just kind of highlights how crazy things can be. The freneticism of religious festivals is like, it's insane, especially
Yeah.
Christmas.
The Grinch
Yeah.
is a cautionary tale against commercialism, about oppressing people that are different, and about having weird little faces with funny noses. Because when I was a kid, I used to be fucking freaked out by the Who's noses, and I used to have
Okay, I'll
nightmares
stop making the face then.
that I woke up with a nose like the Whoville Who's.
I woke up
So
to
fuck them.
I don't know what happened to him. I used to have a Grinch stuffy, and I saw him. It might have been Christmas Eve. Even we were out. We went in like a drugstore for some reason, and like I noticed they were selling these stuffed Grinch dolls, and I was like, oh, I want that. So my mom didn't get it for me. But then I woke up Christmas morning, and he was under my arms, my bed.
That's a nice.
Sorry,
That's a nice Christmas story. That's like a
put
little
that in
happy
there.
surprise. A
It's
little
also,
happy surprise.
it's also sort of creepy, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would not like a Grinch doll. That's as a child, I think that would
I
terrify.
always liked him so much, though. I don't know. He seems so.
He's a nice character, isn't he?
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I used to do a big impression of the Grinch, of Jim Carrey's Grinch.
I can't even
Yeah.
remember how he sounds. Can you do it, Johnny? Just to remind me.
I haven't done it in years, and I haven't seen it in years. But he's like Max. That's how he'd say the dog's name.
Oh yeah. Does he say? He doesn't say Schmoker, does he? Is that
No,
the
that's
Grinch?
that's the mask when he's like Smokey.
Yeah, there you go.
I used to do a whole mask routine, by the way, so I know like every line from the mask.
That movie.
The only problem is you have to be on speed to do that routine because
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, just on another level, really, isn't he?
I just on my ADHD meds, it's fine.
That man fitness.
I do love me some Jim Carrey. But yeah, The Grinch, what a movie. Welcome back to this dangerous news. The time is high, but I'm holding on. Would like to apologise if you heard any hysterical laughter before the break. A disgruntled producer tried to make us broadcast disturbing German pornography. He caused quite the commotion. Good riddance, Derek, pervy producer. Anyway, we'll shortly be joined by Sharon Osbourne with today's weather. But first I'm joined by the Junior Minister for something or other, Nick Fumwell. Minister, good morning. Guten Morgen. I'm a bit curious to hear how disturbing that porn was. Minister, do you really believe the UK was the first to approve the Pfizer vaccine because it's the best country? Look, it's wonderful news. It's certainly because we're one of the best countries. But the best, Minister? Are we the best country? Of course. But also, maybe not. It's a tight race. Lots of really great countries. Belgium, Canada, Yugoslavia, Rhodesia, Wakanda, of course. Ministers, some of those countries no longer exist and one is fictional. Oh, don't be so mean about Canada. Thank you, Minister. Phew, that went rather well. Bertie, have you got any news? You've been in Yeovil today.
I've been in Yeovil. Did the Grinch follow me to Yeovil? Not that I'm aware of. Maybe in my deepest, darkest nightmares, he was in the HGV behind me, sitting there with a McDonald's breakfast deal, stuffing hash brown into his goblin-like mouth, or staring intently at my wing mirror.
That's got overtly sexual undertones.
Have you watched any Christmas films recently, Johnny? Or have I just completely not answered your question?
You completely not answered my question, and no, I've not watched any Christmas. What do you think I do? Just sit around all day watching Christmas films?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying it's nearly Christmas.
Sitting there watching the Santa Claus wanking and stuff like that. That's not what I do.
There's nothing wrong with wanking over Father Christmas.
Muppet Christmas Carol, sitting there with some toilet roll. By the way, I used to love the Muppets Christmas Carol. That used to be my favourite Christmas film. Michael Caine as Scrooge.
Was Michael Caine Scrooge? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought so.
It's a good movie, that.
Does Toad in the Hole count as a Christmas film?
Toad in the Hole?
Toad in the Hole. Is it Toad in the Hole? In the Willows. Completely different. I don't know where Toad in the Hole came from.
Toad in the Hole is a meal, you know that, right? With sausages.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking it's sausage covered in batter, isn't it? I had it the other day as well. Oh, God.
You just can't
See,
get
Toad in the Hole.
innuendos off your mind, can you?
Toad in the hole's a British thing, right? You don't call. Do you have something called toad in the hole in America?
No,
No. See, toad in the
not
hole, bubble and
really.
squeak. It's very Dick Van Dyke, isn't it?
Mm.
It's very kind of stereotypically
Yeah, British
what you
thing.
would call a British person if you were American. But anyway, back to Christmas.
Do you think we should do a Christmas special?
Yeah, we could just talk about well,
Christmas.
discuss the the political persuasions of St. Nicholas, and also best Christmas films as well. That's
Yeah,
a fun
that's
one.
true.
Favorite food at Christmas?
Ham, obviously.
Obviously ham. I mean,
Rum
everyone.
ham.
Apparently. Rum ham, yeah, rum ham. Ooh, I might make rum ham for
Rum
Christmas.
ham. I mean,
rum ham.
I'm not gonna lie. The fact that you eat just ham at Christmas made me very, very.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't just eat ham. I'm sure there are other foods. It's not just
It's
ham.
not just plates and plates of ham and nothing else.
Not even like fresh roast ham. It's just like wafer thin ham from Sainsbury's.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's just like
Out of the
slap it
packet.
on people's plates with some.
Have you got
some,
enough? Have you got enough? Have you got enough ham on your plate, DJ?
with like craft slices of cheese.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the little plasticky
We-
one.
We just throw that down.
And sliced white bread.
Yeah, Wonder Bread and Mountain Dew.
And Mountain Dew. Tons and tons of Mountain
Wash
Dew.
it all down.
I feel like I should have a white trash Christmas one year. That would be fun. Or a white trash Friendsgiving would be better.
Mm.
A white trash Thanksgiving.
What would a white
Friends-
trash Thanksgiving entail?
It would be like, the meal they're eating in Ricky Bobby,
Yeah.
the Pharaoh movie,
Talladega Nights.
on the table. Yeah. All that junk food
Yeah.
that they have.
Yeah.
There's like nothing homemade. They've got like Pizza
It's
Hut,
like
I think, and like bottles of Pepsi Mountain Dew on the table. They say their prayers like, "Dear baby Jesus."
Or you imagine Donald Trump's Thanksgiving or Christmas to be like.
That's probably how he spends it, yeah.
Just every single major sort of fast food.
Dear Mr. Pringles, man, thank you very much for this great spread. It's been fantastic. Would you like to, can you pass on my thanks to Mr. Pepsi as well? It's been great. Okay.
He's talking to them like they're friends. He's literally there, and this is a sad thing. I can imagine him there, just he's on one. He's almost got chairs for each of these different packets with a man on it. The KFC bucket's got its place over there in the corner.
I read the Bible, and when Jesus was born, there were 3 kings. Was one of them the Burger King? I want to know that because he's a great guy.
The Holy Trinity: McDonald's, KFC, and Burger King. Back when Jesus was born.
Those are the real genders.
Yeah, that's it. Non-binary is KFC.
I self-identify as a Kentucky Fried Chicken. On to more serious matters. Well, I can't remember if it was today or yesterday. UK became the first country to approve the Pfizerian vaccine for COVID.
Oh, the Pfizerian Empire has started its takeover.
The Pfizerian Empire struck again. I said that into my wheat beer, as if like a full glass of beer would somehow make my voice echo. So I think the UK has ordered 800,000 vaccines, and they have to be stored at like -70 in hospitals and stuff.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand is like they say it's not going to cost a lot, but then you've got to store it at that temperature, like, and then like I wonder what the guidelines are post.
They should just store it. At Iceland shops because they basically just got loads of freezers.
That's it. That's why Mum's shop there anyway.
That's why Mum shop at Iceland, and then have your jab at Iceland, and then walk out with some chicken dippers as well. It's good news, and hopefully the anti-vaxxer people will shut up and piss off.
I haven't heard much from anti-vaxxers lately.
2021 is their year. They're gonna go all kinds of crazy next year. I
Yeah,
reckon
because they're all going to get COVID.
exactly. then they'll shut up about it.
Then they'll shut up.
It does make me wonder. Sorry, are they going to inject it into your body at -70? If so, what would happen? It's
That's interesting.
isn't it? I'm asking an interesting scientific question. What if you accidentally didn't let it get to room temperature before you gave it to me, and all of a sudden You inject me with it, and oh shit, oh minus 70 degrees. Will I turn into a White Walker? Maybe.
Mary Berry.
Exactly. Then we're back where we started, because that's what COVID does to people. It turns them into White Walkers. If you remember from last episodes.
That was factually proven. It's science.
Yeah, we actually came up with a proof on our podcast for how COVID turns you into a White Walker on the last episode.
And that's why all the North is in tier 3 and the South is in tier 2.
Correct. And how, being a Northern means you're more likely to become a White Walker and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's science.
It's science. You can't argue with that. Sorry, Donald Trump.
Wait, what the fuck is a White Walker?
Game of Thrones, isn't it?
Oh.
Hashtag
okay.
nerd talk.
Because I've said it so many times on this damn podcast. That's why.
This damn podcast.
This damn podcast. Can we just get rid of the Jerus and then just
This damn podcast.
damn podcast?
I kind of feel like that's what we'll be eventually when we're
When we just got bored of speaking.
when we're outlawed by Spotify.
Only 2 syllables per word are allowed.
Yeah,
On this
when our only listeners are conspiracy theorists in sheds in Nevada, that's when we will be this damn podcast.
Just Area 51 tuning in every
Pretty
week.
much, yeah.
And everyone else,
And Donald Trump.
wherever he might be.
He gets his information from us. So yeah, it's worrying about the -7. I don't know what would happen. At the very least, it'd make my nipples become very erect.
Oh, well, it'd be hard, that's for sure. Christ.
They'd have to make sure it gets to room temperature. But then if they have to wait for it to get to room temperature, then what's the point of freezing it to -70?
If they have to wait for it to get to room temperature, how long will they wait as well?
Exactly. Well, they put it in the microwave.
Oh yeah, yeah. And does anyone know what happens when you chuck a vaccine in the microwave? I'm pretty sure very little research has been done onto that. Come on, and let's not fuck around. We know microwaves can be very dangerous. What happens if you put metal or wine in the microwave? It goes bang. If you put a cinnamon cocktail in the microwave, it goes bang in your mouth, which is a good thing. But
They
that's
just have like a normal microwave, dirty microwave in the lab, and it's got like food splatters in it, and it's got, microwaves have those pizza, baked potato, popcorn settings. They just have one that's like vaccine.
You're
put
just
it
like
in.
spinning really slow.
That's what I'm having for lunch.
Like,
I'm injecting some mRNA into my body.
How long is your vaccine going to take? I've got last night's mac and cheese to heat up.
oh my god, this is a South Park thing, isn't it? With the potato in the microwave, and they put it in Kenny's heart.
So if you're a scientist, get in touch with us, because like I always say, we probably won't read it, but it's good for you, right? Today the new tiers came into action, didn't they?
Yes, it was today, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, either today or yesterday. I did notice a little bit of change in the traffic today. However, it didn't really affect things much for me. It was just I just did a little observation. There's a few more cars on the road, so yeah. Tier
Just
2.
imagine you driving around looking. Oh, there's definitely more cars. 12 more than yesterday.
Counting every single car that is on the road.
Giving them a warning look.
Okay, I don't know what new tiers is.
Oh, we don't mean tiers as in Gaza's tiers or equivalent. We're talking
I love the way you made a joke about Gaza to an American, as if that's going to explain what tiers are.
Everyone knows who Paul Gascoigne is after Donald Trump invited him to the White House in America. That's how it works, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. I'm just saying.
We don't mean crying tears. We mean, I was going to say, like, we mean tears of a clown, but we don't mean that either.
I thought you were going to say tear gas, not saying tear gas.
We mean like levels. And so basically they put in
Okay,
these
no, that's what I thought. But like tiers of what?
tears of a clown.
Tears of joy, tears of happiness,
Tears for fears.
tears of a system, essentially. So like
Everybody wants to rule them.
graduations. So you've got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 in
Kanye
terms
West.
of severity of lockdown. It's a tiered lockdown.
Oh, okay.
So most people are in tier 2. Like the South is in tier 2 and the North is in tier 3, basically. The tier 3 stricter than tier 2. And that started
Cool.
today. But there were definitely more cars on the road. Like, and there were people queuing outside shops and stuff. Literally were people like fighting to get inside Primark this morning, which is pretty sad, to be honest. I would fight someone to get out of Primark.
Oh, I've seen some lines in Seattle as well.
I would literally fight someone to get out of Primark.
Honestly, I do not understand it. Yeah, I've seen from earlier on. I think it was September or some other time during this ridiculous year, which we've managed to, it's all kind of molds into one lockdown, really. The queues outside Bristol went round street after street for Primark. And it's just, like, what are you gaining from this?
What's so important that they need to get from Primark?
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, I understand that you might want some clothes, but surely you haven't run out of underpants.
Emergency bras.
That's true. I do only go into Primark underwear and emergency stuff.
Briefs, as you might.
A girl told me in London, there was this girl on the escalator in Primark next to me, like this woman, as we got to the bottom, she had a trolley with her, like, a kid's seat, whatever. And she just like stopped. And so we got kind of pissed off. We're like, why isn't this woman moving? A girl turned around, looked at me, she's like, I hate Primark. I'm like, oh my God, me too. I only came in here for some underwear. And then like when the lady started me, she was like, good luck. Walked away.
It is like being in the trenches. That's how I see it. It's just like there's all this madness and chaos going on around you. You're seeing all kinds of scenes, women dragging their children along while screaming. It's almost like being on the battlefield.
There's always
being knocked over,
doing some crazy shit.
Oh, always. Yeah.
It's like running across no man's land with your trousers down by your ankles.
With your mum. Because I'm not gonna lie, I always go into Primark with my mum.
Oh my God, that reminds me. Sorry, this is another
kind of
stupid story. You can delete any of these, I don't care.
There are no such thing as stupid stories. Only stupid.
I went into my nephew was getting his haircut, and I was waiting for him. So I went in Ross, which is kind of like Primark, a bit better than Primark, but it's still kind of like got that energy, the vibe. It's got a similar vibe, except fortunately this one didn't really have many people in it. And there were they have like a section with kids' toys, and there were these big heads of, they were different animals, I guess. And when you walk past them, they would like start making noises. And then when my nephew was finished, he came back up and joined me, and we were walking past, we were like, what is that? It was so creepy. And then I just started to pretend it was like the paparazzi or something. I was like covering my face every time I walked near him. And then I turned around, I noticed these girls were giving me the like, this glare, like I said something. Said something wrong. I don't know. Anyway, it was funnier in my head because it was a funny memory.
No, but what if these weird statues were just just
I don't know. You didn't have to touch him. You walk past and it would be like, woo, and I think its head kind of followed you.
Oh, it's even worse. That's really awful. Creepy. That's like Chucky or something. That's Anyway. It's like a David Attenborough documentary.
I feel like I've rambled about a lot of dumb shit.
No, it's good. There's no such thing as dumb shit.
I feel like this whole podcast has been like chatting shit. Really,
that's what
getting it all out.
Yeah,
maybe it's because we did it on a Wednesday and not a Thursday. Maybe because we did it on a Wednesday, we just chat more shit on a Wednesday. Who knows?
I think it's fine. I think we're adding to the intellectual buffet that is our podcast.
By the way, is why I have a drink every week, because when I drink, I chat more shit.
You noticed?
Yeah.
Welcome to Sir Keir Starbuck's Guide to Being Opposition Leader. Wait for the government to propose tier system that punishes the North and doesn't adequately support people who can't work, and then abstain, arguing it's in the national interest. Why oppose when you can abstain? Ha 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 ha. Oh dear, power failing. Principles are weakness. Principles are weakness. Power failing. Must call my creator. My dear creator, please help me.
Oh, Starbot, call me Tony, or your emperor. You're so dull, sometimes I forget that I made you. Look, Starbot, just remember the 3 E's. Establishment, establishment, establishment. That's all you need to know.
Oh, thank you, dear creator Tony Emperor. Energy to crush the left and provide no opposition is returning.
My mum called me a shitter a couple of weeks ago. I've never been called a shitter before. She's like, you're a shitter. She literally turned to me and said, you're a shitter.
What does that
Oh.
mean?
I don't know. I think we're all shitters, to be honest. I think we, by nature we are shitters. That's what we do, isn't it? I am a shitter. I can't. Probably I've denied it for too long in my life, but I am an unashamed shitter.
I'm a wanker and a shitter. But,
Yeah.
should I be ashamed of that? I am a human being, after all.
Sometimes I shit more than once a day. Does that make me more of a shitter than someone who just does once a day? I don't know. These are the important questions that our podcast attempts to answer, and the questions that we're not qualified to answer.
And always check your stool.
Exactly.
That's it. You're going to have some serious vaccinologists listening into this podcast, learning some serious shit from us guys.
And
who are
some
simultaneously talking about shitting and wanking.
and some fecalologists. I'm not even sure that's what-
Fecolologist. Hello, I am a fecolologist.
who are learning stuff about vaccines. I feel like the content of our podcast is slowly getting more and more intellectual.
It's certainly going below the belt.
I told myself, like, I'm gonna be more serious.
Yeah, but then you realize you're doing a podcast with us. Like, you have no hope of this being
Doing a podcast with a man who puts his cocktail in the microwave and a man whose mum calls him a shitter.
Did we actually get into anything like serious?
Was there anything else we had to talk about? Was that
There was also there's the Jamaica 50. And this is a serious topic.
yes, serious
Jamaica
stuff.
50.
Oh.
So the Home Office is trying to deport 50 people to Jamaica. These are people who came to the UK as young people, some of them as children, some of them teenagers, some young adults who have children in this country, and those children are British residents. And these people they're trying to deport don't have any family in Jamaica. They're basically just sending them back to Jamaica. There's nothing for them there. There's no support for them there. And they're leaving sometimes young children here who are obviously devastated. There's like stories of the children depressed, that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's been protests against it. Some celebrities have come out against it, including Naomi Campbell, I believe. But the Home Office is basically like, no, we're getting rid of these dangerous criminals to keep our public safe.
Criminals, what do they do?
Well, some of them were charged with murder and rape, but there's some that are just drug dealers and things like that. So they are criminals, but there are differences, obviously.
I think even
they're
in
charged with.
cases where someone's not a great person, it's still to be like away from your family.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I don't think anybody's saying like, oh, let's let a murderer go. They're saying like,
Yeah.
They're saying that you shouldn't deport them to another country where their children are here.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to keep them in
That's
prison
not
for the rest
right.
of their lives, they should still be in the same country as their children, I think. So it's just, really
Mhm.
fucked up. And also, like the Home Office talking about keeping the public safe when Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, was basically ruled to be bullying people in the Home Office. So the Home Office can't even keep their staff safe from the Home Secretary. So particularly in the aftermath of Windrush, where it was recently revealed that lots of the people caught up in the Windrush scandal still haven't received compensation, and that actually several people had died before they'd received compensation. So it looks to me like the government just have not learned at all because they don't want to learn. That's the reality. The reality is
Exactly.
they don't want to learn.
At the end of the day,
They're
it's-
institutionally racist and they don't give a shit. They want it to look like they care, but they don't.
So my best friend, I'm not gonna say any names, but she has just been like forced to move out of her place that she was living with her sisters and brothers and her mom in Peckham, I think. So basically, we talked about this over the phone, so I don't remember all the details. But basically, she has a sibling that's a criminal, and like the police were after him for a while, and then they found him and put him in like juvie somewhere. But they want the whole family out of the house because they're like using the thing with the mother's son as like an excuse, as like he can't be here anymore or something, and like had this other place in Croydon for them to go to. Maybe it might be near the juvie or something, I don't know. And they went to the council and they didn't help them. It's really weird. I don't get it, to be honest. So if I sound like vague, it's because I don't understand. I don't see how that's legal.
It's messed up.
Yeah, I think they're just using it as an excuse to kick them out because the area is becoming like gentrified and stuff. Pretty fucked up. Now she's far away from school and everything.
It's-
Thought I'd share that. This is
No, it's-
kind of
It's super messed up, and unfortunately, the sad thing is it doesn't surprise me because so much of that shit goes on.
No, me neither. And it affects so many people. You can say what you want about stop and search, but it doesn't work. People know it doesn't work. It's been talked about. The police are meant to be there to protect the community, but whose community are they protecting?
That's like their brotherhood. Pretty shocking, like how much just casual and like small things happen, like in businesses and stuff, restaurants, things like that. Like both in the UK and here, people still find ways to like not let you into their business or just like give you different service or say things like they want, like tell you that you need to like pay up front about something. Obviously, a lot of people don't notice it because it doesn't happen to them.
Exactly.
They're just like, well, discrimination doesn't exist anymore or something. Or it's not as bad as it used to be. It's like, no, it's still pretty bad. Like, I get anxiety about going to certain areas. Before the second lockdown, me and my sister would like go out to beaches and parks and stuff. And I would just be like, where should we go? And this is before like Biden got elected too. And I'm just like, where should we go that's chill? Like, I don't have to worry about anyone getting on my shit. And I've noticed sometimes when I'm around white friends and we're out, they don't always realize that sometimes the things we're doing like would not be possible if everyone was in white and stuff. And so there are certain things that I look out for, and it's just like, oh no, you're overreacting. It's like, no, like I've been followed home and stalked in 3 different countries. This is a consistent thing that exists globally. Like, certain people are just hunted from the day you're born. Sorry, that got really dark, but I didn't even have a birds and the bees talk. I had my mom talk to me about basically what would you do if someone was trying to kidnap you or like bother you or something. And my sister has that talk with my nephew, and I think he's probably the only white kid in his class that's learning all those things to look out for and stuff. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. I don't know how I got there.
It's
What
good.
were we
It's
talking
good.
about?
It's good. No, but it's good to raise this stuff. It's good to talk about this stuff.
Now we're spitting some knowledge on this podcast. I feel like we've brought it back to reality. Like
we had like
hard
40.
stuff.
We have 45 minutes where we were talking about shitting and wanking, and you have now started. You've been talking about some really deep and important stuff.
The more those kind of things happen to me, I start to get more curious about other people's experience who are like disabled or things like that. Just like, I wonder what little things are ticking them off every day. We probably don't have time for this, but I could probably link to something about empiricism as a fundamental philosophy in like America and the UK and like basically the whole British Commonwealth. Because it's like a philosophy that I feel like affects our ability to understand things around us or understand each other. People tend to be very, nothing exists or is true until I perceive it. There are other systems of knowledge out there that we can use, but they're not Western. So we don't use them. We just pretend it doesn't exist. That's probably for another podcast.
We're doing some deep stuff now, which is good. It's meaningful. I feel like our podcast has come of age in the last 10 minutes.
Started with my cocktail, and now look where we've got to.
Yeah.
My high went from like silly and goofy,
Exactly.
philosophical.
We've basically gone like the full stages of a Joe Rogan podcast.
Joe Rogan, is he on the list?
He is on the list, and he'll be smoking more weed than you are, DJ. So.
Oh, I bet. I'm like really good at controlling my tolerance.
You should put that on your dating profile.
I should. Disciplined weed smoker.
Exactly. On that note, I think we should tie this podcast up like a Christmas present or a spring roll. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah. Or a shoe. So thank you very much for listening, people. Children of the Revolution. Join us next week. Stay dangerous.
Look out for the Grinch as well. Make sure he's not creeping around somewhere in your garden or
make sure the Grinch isn't under your bed
or in the car behind you.
start charging your fans for each bum cheek they put on the seat.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so you want to put 2 bum cheeks on the seat? Well, that's going to cost you double, mate. So
To be fair, once upon a time, they wouldn't have any bum cheeks sat down on it.
that's true, because Arsenal supporters famously for a long time didn't have bum cheeks.